Hello and welcome to Rise Unwind. My name is Dan. You know, each and every week I try to talk to people from across the country about things we could do in your neighborhood. And on this week's show, we got this.
So a really popular trend is a vacation for everyone.
You want to increase that step count. Look at that pedometer, look at that Apple Watch.
You get access to a boat all year long or all summer long.
All of that and more right here on Rise and Unwind. Summer is heating up, and if you're trying to get in shape or just feel better in your body, you might be wondering, should I be using supplements? Well, it turns out most of us don't really know how or when or use things like protein, creatine, or even pre-workout, like this guy. But when used in the right way, they could actually support strength, recovery, and energy without overcomplicating your routine. So joining us today is Patty Brewton, a certified fitness coach, former Division I swimmer, and founder of ALS Training App. She's here to break down what really works, how to get more out of your workouts this summer. Welcome to the show, Patty. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
All right, let's start with the basics. If everyone or somebody like this guy here is trying to feel stronger or just move more this summer, where should they begin?
Absolutely. First, you want to start with the fundamentals. If you're my client, all we do is we focus on strength training first. 3 to 4 days a week, focus on getting in and really getting your body moving and really doing a progressive overload program. On top of that, you want to walk more. You want to get your body moving. You want to increase that step count. Look at that pedometer. Look at that Apple Watch. And then you want to make sure you're getting enough sleep, 7 to 8 hours, more if you can. And really hydrating, drinking enough water, and consuming enough protein for your body. These are 3 supplements that I have added into my routine that I tell my clients to add into their routine to really elevate those basics that you do every week. C4 Sport pre-workout. This really helps you get in the mindset, get motivated, increase that energy to really put as much energy as you can into your workout. It helps support muscular endurance. The electrolytes in the formula and the key minerals help with hydration as well. C4 whey protein is a way to supplement protein. It's really difficult to get the recommended dose of protein per day. So the C4 whey protein is a great way to supplement with your protein goals. And then cellular creatine, it helps build and maintain lean muscle mass, and it's super easy to mix and add into your daily supplement routine. So these are 3 that I take every day that I also recommend that my clients take every day.
And you work with a lot of clients who use supplements. How do things like protein, creatine, and like pre-workout actually help?
Absolutely. So protein is so important. And unfortunately, most people are under consuming the amount of protein they should be getting a day. If the recommended dose is 1 to 1.4 grams per pound of ideal body weight. So if you're 140 pounds, you want to get 140 grams of protein a day. And that can be really hard to do with just whole foods. So C4 whey protein, 1 scoop is 25 grams of protein for only 140 calories. So I love to add it to my Greek yogurt in the morning, mix it up with some berries. You can even add a protein bar crumbled up on top for some granola for the effect. And then creatine, it's another supplement that is the safest and most studied supplement on the market. And it gets a bad rap because people think it's only for bodybuilders, but it's for everybody. If you're over 18, you can be taking creatine. Not only does it help build and maintain lean muscle mass, but it has new research shows that it has significant cognitive benefits. So I'm a mom of 2 kids. I'm running my own business. I'm busy. I'm stressed. And it helps with mental clarity, with brain fog, and all of those things. And so for me and for my women clients, creatine is one of those supplements that is a no-brainer to add to your daily routine.
Or a go-brainer to add to your...
Absolutely.
All right. So how do you know when to take them? Is there a right time, or does it really just depend on the person?
Yeah. So pre-workout, you want to take about 30 minutes before your workout. You want to give that 200 milligrams of caffeine some time to give yourself the jolt that you need. But as far as creatine and protein, you can take it at any time. There are benefits to take protein right after you work out, but the bigger picture is you want to be hitting that daily protein goal. So if by the end of the day you haven't hit it, you can mix yourself up a smoothie, add it to your breakfast in the morning to get an increased protein. And it's really just, I love to have it stacked with my creatine in the morning. I add the cellular creatine to my shaker bottle with my other supplements that I take as well, mix it all up, and I'm ready to go.
All right, Patty, we're running out of time, but if somebody wants to learn more, maybe get started with your app, where should they go?
Absolutely. So c4energy.com, learn more about the products. My app will be launching in the next month. I'm super excited. You can find me on Instagram at Patty Brewton. And then any local GNC, Walmart, and Target for the products.
Thanks for joining me this morning, Patty.
Thank you, Dan. So good to see you.
What do you get when IndyCar driver Scott McLaughlin and pro golfer Jake Knapp face off in a head-to-head driving challenge on the greens of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway? Let's take a look. It all went down at the Brickyard Crossing Golf Course where McLaughlin and Knapp teed off a new promo from Pennzoil and PXG.
I had a blast. It was great meeting Scott. I honestly didn't expect him to be that good of a golfer. I thought it was pretty impressive what he was able to do. To collab with Jake and PXG and come out here and see a pro golfer, I'm a massive golf fan. So to see that is really cool. And Pennzoil with their Long May We Drive campaign, it's just such a cool fit. And to be a part of that has been great. Now
through June 25th, fans who buy a Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic Bundle at Advance Auto Parts or CarQuest online or in store can enter to win a limited edition PXG Pennzoil Golf Driver. Knapp may have edged out McLaughlin in the two-part challenge, but the real winner, that's whoever ends up with the custom club. Enter today at pennzoil.com/sweeps. Are you dreaming of a getaway that's fun, easy, and full of magic? This summer, more Americans than ever are heading out to sea. With cruises becoming one of the top picks for families, joining us live from Disney's Castaway Cay in the Bahamas is travel expert Jeanette Ceja with a insider scoop from aboard with some insider scoop from aboard the Disney Wish. Welcome to the show, Jeanette. How are you?
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. The weather is perfect. As you can see, the water is clear. All good here on the Disney Wish.
So, what are you seeing this year when it comes to summer travel trends, especially for families and couples?
So a travel trend that's very popular on the rise is family-centric travel, so multi-generational travel, finding a vacation that caters to everyone in your family, from your grandparents to your parents to your children, nieces, nephews, toddlers, children. There's something for everyone. A recent report found that 58% of young families plan to invite an extended family member on their next vacation. So a really popular trend is a vacation for everyone. And that definitely you can find here on the Disney cruise, where there are Broadway style entertainment. As you can see, I saw The Little Mermaid the other night here on the Disney Wish. There's also a signature dining experience where you can try 3 different restaurants. Also, you get to meet your favorite Disney characters around on the ship. So really, there's something for everyone. There's even a kids club where the teens can hang out, have fun. There's a nursery. There's even an adults area only where you can lounge by the pool. You can have a date night. You can celebrate your favorite occasion. So it really caters to everyone in your family.
And cruises are really having like a moment now. What's behind the big spike in interest?
Yes, as you mentioned, an estimated 19 million Americans are expected to take an ocean cruise this year alone. And I feel that Ocean Cruises offers you this family vacation for everyone to enjoy, especially the Disney cruise. It offers 3 vacations in one. You have the hassle-free of an ocean cruise. You only unpack once. How nice is that? And you also get to visit these tropical destinations like Castaway Cay, where we are today. And then my favorite, you get the magic of Disney, where you get to experience Disney Broadway style shows. You get to see your favorite Disney characters. You also get to have these signature dining experiences. For example, I was at Arendelle the other night where they had a dinner theater show. Olaf was there, Elsa was there. These are really great experiences that you can have on the Disney cruise.
And for people that are trying to plan trips with kids, grandparents, or maybe just a big group like office outing, what kind of experiences should they be looking for?
Yes, some experiences that everyone in the family can enjoy. Like again, there's these Broadway style shows. There is a pirate night on the Disney Wish that happened last night. There's fireworks. Who doesn't love a great fireworks show? But only Disney Cruise does them on the seas, which happened last night, which was spectacular. There's also the hassle-free convenience that Disney Cruise offers. Again, with the signature dining rotation experience, it takes out the hassle hassle of having to make reservations for dinner. It tells you where you'll have dinner. You also have a catered service team that joins you on your dining journey, and they remember details about your dietary restrictions or what you love. For example, I'm a vegetarian, and they always keep that in mind and have their fresh cup of coffee for me at dinner. Really great. And adults are having a great time. I see families, for example, grandparents with their shirts, with grandpa, they're celebrating graduations, they're celebrating birthdays, they're celebrating anniversaries. So everyone on the ship is having a really great time.
And we're just getting into June. Is it too late to book a trip like this?
Now, the great news is that it's not too late to book your summer travel. And actually, Disney Cruise has 4 ships sailing out of Florida, as well as a Disney Cruise in Alaska and even in Europe. So it's a great time to look into different itineraries, where your family would like to go. And all that information you could find, especially special offers, is on DisneyCruise.com.
All right, so if anybody out there wants to be like the Society of Explorers and Adventurers, where can people go to learn more, start planning, and where should they go?
Yeah, absolutely. There's also, if you want to try more than cruising, there's also adventures like National Geographic expeditions. You can check out the expeditions that they have lined for travelers. For example, an African safari. There's also adventures by Disney, where you can experience family travel experiences like cooking, for example, in Italy. Those can be found as well on DisneyCruise.com.
Jeanette, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you so much.
What if I told you that your next great escape isn't an airport, but your local marina? More than 85 million Americans go boating every year, and it turns out you don't need to own a boat to enjoy it. I don't know how that works, but oh wait, no. With rentals, clubs, and boat share apps, hitting the water has never been easier or more relaxing. Maybe I should read my next sentence before I get there. Joining us live from the deck of a boat in Huntington, New York is Ellen Bradley, Senior Vice President of Discover Boating. She's here to share why more people are choosing the water over the crowds and how to get in on it. Welcome to the show, Ellen. How are you?
I'm doing okay. As you can see, I get to be out here on the water today. The sun is shining. It's blue skies. The wind is in my hair. And we're about to, after we talk to you, we're going to be heading out with some friends. So it is a good day.
All right, let's start with the obvious. Why is boating such a draw for so many people this time of year?
Well, I think more and more people are just looking for a way to disconnect and get away from it all, especially during the summer. And there really is nothing that compares like the relaxation, the freedom, and the adventure that comes from being on the water on a boat. And so we're seeing more and more people, in fact, 85 million Americans go boating every year, more and more people turning to boating for that relaxation. And it's really like a vacation every weekend versus that 1 week vacation that you might spend on over the summer. You get access to a boat all year long or all summer long, and you're able to disconnect and have the feeling of vacation when you want, which on demand, vacation on demand is how we like to think about it.
All right, and I just learned from my opening script that you don't have to own a boat to go boating. What are some easier ways that people could get out on the water?
Well, if you're not ready to own a boat or you're not sure if ownership is right for you, there are increasingly so many ways to get out on the water. There are a lot of new boat rental opportunities. It's not like renting a boat even just 5-10 years ago. There are apps now that you can find and use to rent boats. There are something called boat clubs where you get access to a variety of different boats. You can even have a boat captain who can take you out and teach you how to operate that boat if you don't know how to do that yet. And then there's something called peer-to-peer boat sharing. And there are also apps for that. So if you do own a boat, you're able to rent it out to people over an app, making it really simple and seamless for getting out on the water and making boating more accessible than people have even realized.
And I was really surprised about how big the boating industry actually is. How much impact does it have here in the United States and maybe in places like here in Florida or New Mexico?
Well, what's really interesting is that while boating is certainly a great way to have memories, it provides a lot of fun and relaxation and adventure. What a lot of people don't realize is that it also is a significant economic engine for our country. Boating generates $230 billion, that's with a B, in economic activity every year across the U.S. and in states too. I mean, you're seeing a lot of boating businesses pop up, like I mentioned, of whether it's rentals or boat clubs. But but really boating is a true business as much as it is fun.
All right. I can see that it is fun. You see that? I'm trying. He's hating on me over here. All right. If anyone is thinking like, okay, I'm in, I want to set sail, where should they go to find out more, maybe plan their first trip?
Well, if you don't have a boat or if you don't have a friend with a boat, discoverboating.com is your friend with a boat. We have everything you need to know about getting started in boating, whether you want to rent, whether you want to join a club or participate in one of those peer-to-peer apps, or if you're ready to buy. We've got all the tools from how to pick out the right boat for you, how to find the right boat for your budget, and making boating so much more accessible and much easier to be a part of so that you can hurry up and come join us out here on the water.
All right, Alan, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.
Are you planning a summer trip, whether it's with the family, solo, or for work? The CDC says packing your bag isn't the only thing to check off that list. Have you talked to your doctor about your travel plans? If not, it might be time. Take a look.
CVS Pharmacy District Leader Dr. Amy Lynn Safaty says speaking with your doctor before a trip can be a big benefit.
Yes, if you're planning on traveling either locally or out of the country, it's always a good idea to check in with your healthcare provider at least 4 to 6 weeks before traveling. And that's for a couple different reasons. Depending on where you're going, certain countries have requirements or recommendations for vaccines. So you want to make sure you're able to get those ahead of time before you travel. And also you really want to make sure you have enough of your prescription medications on hand for your entire trip with a few extra days in case there's any travel delays.
Dr. Safaty also recommends bringing some common medicines from home for easy remedies while on the go.
Yes, it's always a good idea to bring some of your medicine cabinet items overseas with you when you are traveling. So whenever I'm packing my suitcase for travels, I always like to think of what I might need or use most often. And usually those are going to be things that would help your head, your nose, or your stomach.
Find more trip planning tips and helpful travel items at cvs.com.
When a natural disaster hits, the physical damage, it's just part of the struggle. The paperwork and the financial fallout can feel just as overwhelming. So what do you need to know when it comes to taxes, records, and getting some relief? Carl Breedlove is a lead tax research analyst at the Tax Institute at H&R Block. He's here to help break down what people need to know in the aftermath, from documenting damage to claiming tax relief. Welcome to the show, Carl. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Sometimes there's a big struggle when trying to recollect your life after a big event. How can someone tell if they qualify for like disaster-related tax relief?
Yeah, so for your individual personal losses, so like your home and another property like that, you need to be in a federally declared disaster area. And you can find that on the IRS's website, and there's also generally a FEMA declaration that goes along with that as well. If you have business property, main thing for that is just that you had a disaster. So it doesn't have to be a federally declared disaster for business property.
So when damage hit your homes or property, what is like the smartest way to document everything? Are there any tips you might not think of? And are receipts kind of a big deal?
Yeah, receipts are always important because that's your way of proving the costs that you paid to remedy the damages. So if you have to have improvements to your home or things fixed, the receipts are super important. Other things, any insurance documents, any claims you put into your insurance, and any information that you get that kind of appraises the damage that you sustained is also really important.
And can you walk us through like the IRS side of things? How does someone actually claim disaster relief on their taxes?
Yeah, so generally what you'll do is you'll use Form 4684. That form will walk you through determining what your allowable loss is, along with adding in any reimbursements that you may get from like insurance or any relief settlements, things like that, that will have to be included to offset your loss. So you'll use that form, and then that form will flow through to your return where you'll claim the loss.
And if people did lose everything, how could they avoid scrambling later to recreate their records?
Generally, if you have no records, the best place to start is the Recorder of Deeds and the assessor's office with your county. Those places would be a place where you can make sure that you have your deed, because your deed will be recorded. with the recorder's office, and then the assessor's office is important because at least you'll have the assessed value of your property. That you get that every year or every 2 years, depending on your county, for property taxes. So that gives you a starting point, and then you can use tools that will track fair market value of real estate, things like that. You can use online tools. There's plenty of websites out there that will give you what general fair market value is in your area, what homes were selling for right around the time of the disaster. So that can help you determine what the value of the loss is as well.
And if people are trying to rebuild, what tax-related details do they really need to keep in mind?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that go around homeownership. If you have to get a construction loan, interest for that may be deductible on your return. Any increased property taxes you may sustain because maybe when you rebuild, your property's now worth more, that might be deductible. And, if you're looking at how to rebuild and how to make your property better, if you're in a situation where you could do that, for now we have clean energy things that you can consider, like making sure you install energy efficient windows, doors, heating systems, things like that might be taken into consideration and you should keep records for.
Well, Carl, thanks for joining us this morning. Where can we go for more information and probably learn more?
If you go to astarblock.com, we have a ton of content on there that you can read, not only disasters, but also a litany of other, individual income tax topics. And you can also go there to get started on your return and see what services we offer.
Carl Breedlove, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
And that is it for Rise and Unwind. I want to thank you for tuning in and checking out the show. If you actually want to be on the show, go to our website. That's riseunwindtv.com. Fill out the form, send it our way, and maybe you could be on a future episode. Make sure you follow us on YouTube, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that other good stuff. And until next week, that was Rise and Unwind.